Picture the ultimate human weapon. You're likely picturing Bruce Lee, a man with single-digit body fat and reflexes so fast that movie directors literally had to slow down their film just to capture his punches. But there is a detail the history books often gloss over. Look at this photo. Bruce Lee was legally, severely nearsighted. His myopia was so advanced that without those thick Coke bottle glasses, the world was a blurry fog. If an opponent stood just 5 feet away, Bruce couldn't clearly see the knuckles flying at his face. In a world that demands 20/20 vision to survive a fight, Bruce was operating at a massive physical deficit, a reality that forced him to completely reevaluate how a human being should move. In 1950s Hong Kong, street fighting was a common, high-stakes reality. For a teenager getting into scraps, failing eyesight was usually a death sentence. He couldn't just wear contacts. In the 50s, lenses were made of thick, hard plastic. They were incredibly painful, easily knocked out by a light slap, and dangerous to wear during a fistfight. Traditional martial arts offered no help. Those systems rely on visual cues, watching an opponent's eyes, reading shoulders from a distance, and timing the gap. Bruce realized that if he played by the rules of fighters with perfect vision, he would lose. He had to build a system that didn't care about eyesight. This search led him to Grandmaster Ip Man and the close-quarters art of Wing Chun. Wing Chun utilizes a training methodology known as Chi Sao, or sticky hands. Two fighters maintain constant, unbroken physical contact while rolling and striking. The moment Bruce felt this resistance, he had an epiphany. He didn't need to see his opponent's hands if he felt their intent through the skin. He stopped relying on his failing eyes to track movement and instead rewired his entire nervous system to use tactile feedback as his primary combat sensor. There is a biological reason this worked, comparing two neural pathways. Visual reaction time, seeing a punch and telling your body to move, takes roughly 250 milliseconds, but tactile reaction time, reacting to touch, takes only 150 milliseconds. By keeping his forearms in contact with an enemy, Bruce could detect micro-vibrations as they shifted their weight or tightened a muscle. His body countered automatically before the attacker's brain had even finished processing the strike. By bypassing his eyes, Bruce was processing information nearly 30% faster than a fighter with perfect 20/20 vision. This biological hack led to 3 breakthroughs. First, he eliminated telegraphing. Knowing how easily touch could detect an attack, he trained himself to strike with 0 warning, no pulling the hand back or shifting the hips. Second, he threw away traditional visual choreography to create Jeet Kune Do. It was a fluid system built on one premise: close the distance, trap the enemy's limbs, and strike by pure intuition. Finally, to safely close the gap where he could use his tactile reflexes, he used his background as a cha-cha champion. He blended ballroom footwork with boxing to create a rhythm that allowed a near-blind fighter to control the distance of the room. These 3 hallmarks of his style were not spontaneous strokes of genius. They were the mechanical results of Bruce adjusting his martial arts to fit his biological constraints. We all have our own version of terrible eyesight. We all have a limitation or a setback that makes us feel like we're starting the race of life 100 steps behind everyone else. The common instinct is to view these flaws as boundaries, but Bruce Lee's life provides a different blueprint, treating those limitations as design parameters. Extraordinary success often requires using the exact deficit that holds you back as the very foundation for your greatest strength. When Bruce Lee told the world to be water, it was a literal instruction on how to flow around an immovable biological obstacle. Stop looking at your biggest limitation as a static barrier. Instead, use those specific constraints to dictate the unique way you operate. Hit that subscribe button and tell me in the comments, what is the one weakness you are going to turn into an advantage starting today? The cards you are dealt don't determine the winner. It is how you play them. Use your deepest weakness to become entirely unstoppable.